Could Shimon? That's what happened to Shimon. Shimon was nichtam lechaim toivim v'arukim on Rosh Hashanah. Is it still possible for Reuven to kill him, or not? If HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the only way Reuven could kill him is he was nichtam lemisa. But if he wasn't nichtam lemisa, so then a human being cannot kill him. So, the first page that you have here, it's called Hakdama. It's an article from Rabbi Yisrael Shapinski, who was a known Rav 30, 40 years ago. And he wrote many articles in all kinds of journals in Or HaMizrach. He says this kasha is already going back to Rav Hai Gaon. So let's see on the first page that you have. Again, you have the sheets for you. It's a matana, shalom, anat lahazir. The Seder. Rav Hai Gaon nishal על השאלות שהתחלנו בהן מפני קבס בצפון אפריקה. עניין הבחירה אומנם לא נזכר, לא בשאלת השואלים ולא בתשובת הגויין, אלא שרצו לדע, אם כשנרצח אדם, או שנהרגו רבים בפעם אחת, פירושון שמתו בלא איתם, did they die prematurely, or that was the גזירה. והגויין השיב שאינו יודע. הם שאלו, מי שקם עליו רוצח והרגו נפש, אילו לא הרגו הרשע באיסו הזמן, התאמרו כי היה מת או נשאר חי? Would he have died anyway? If he wouldn't have been there, if he would have been in another place, he would have dropped dead wherever he is? Because that's the Gzeira? He was here, so it happened through Bel. If he would have been there, it would have happened through Shmuel. But he would have died anyway, or no? Maybe he wouldn't have died. So he says, "Atshuva she'einanu yodim zot." We don't know. Rak Hashem yodea. Efes, meaning he's going to spell out both possibilities. Ki anachnu nochal aniach ki haya met gam lo le'hargo. We could have said he would have died anyway. V'nochal aniach ki Hashem yodea ki lo le'hargo haya nishar chai ad zman yadua. It's Tshuvas Hagoynim. Bekitzer, he's the first one that addresses this point. And what does he say? Milesis. It's bilti l'Hashem levadoi to know this question. But let's see the next page, which is page 1. And if you have any question of identifying this sefer, where it comes from, so on the bottom of the print, it says Hutpas Motzah Chachman. He says which sefer it is. But this all has to do with the Orach Chaim in this week's parsha.
Is it not Munach in Rav Hai Gaon that he's saying like one side? Because if it could be that he died, that this person died below Italy, then that means.
I think he says we don't know. You want to say the mere fact that he's entertaining that possibility? Maybe. Here's the famous Orach Chaim HaKadosh. It all starts in this week's parsha. What does the pasuk say? Vayishma Reuven vayatzineu miyodam vayomer lo nakenu nafesh. Reuven wants to save Yosef. Says the Orach Chaim HaKadosh. It's even with vowels, so it's to help the Jewish people. Vayatzineu miyodam. Pirush. Lefi sha'adam bal b'chira v'ratzoin. V'yachol la'arog mi shelo nischayev misa. A person has free will. He can exercise his free will to the degree that he can kill someone who does not deserve to die. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't intervene with people's free will. Masha'en chayes roes lo yivgu ba'adam im lo yischayev misa l'shamayim. Rabbi said the Orach Chaim HaKadosh is dealing with the obvious question. The boy was molen nachoshim akrovim, snakes and scorpions. The halacha is in the Gemara in the end of Yomis, if someone falls into a pit full of nachoshim akrovim, his wife is allowed to remarry. That's the halacha. If we didn't find the body, we didn't find anything, but we know there were eidim, they fell into a bowl, molen nachoshim akrovim, his wife is allowed to get married. So how could you say that Yosef, that Reuven went to save Yosef when he put him in a bowl, Mola Nechoshim HaKlavim? You could say he didn't know the word was a Mola Nechoshim HaKlavim. You could say. The Orach Chaim HaKadosh is answering. I'll say it first orally, then we'll read it inside. Reuven saying there's a good side that Yosef is a tzaddik. Mimele, the Chayes Rois will not kill him. His brothers will. He does not deserve to die. and on Rosh Hashanah he's only 17 years old, he does not deserve to die. And from HaKadosh Baruch Hu's point of view, he should keep on living. There was no gzera that he should die. However, that's good enough when you're dealing with Nechashim HaKrovim. But when you're dealing with creatures that have free will, people, they could kill him even if he does not deserve to die. Okay, I'm not going to that now. What does it mean? Rosh Hashanah, we'll see soon. But let's focus on here. So again, let's go into this. Pirush lifi she'adam bal bchira v'ratzon v'yochol laharog mi shelo nischayev misa. Ma she'eken chayes rois lo yivguru ba'adam im lo yisrael misa l'shamayim. The animals will not kill him if he doesn't deserve to die. V'hu amro v'yatzileu miyodam. He's medak the pasuk. Doesn't say vayomer vayishmeruven vayatzileu. Rather, what does it say? Vayatzileu miyodam, from them. Pirush miyad הבחירי, ובזה סתר אומרו ונראה מה יוכל למויסו וגוימר כי הבחירה תבטל הדבר ואין ראיה יהרגו כי שקר דיבר, meaning Reuben saying another Yisrael, that if they will kill him and his dreams will not materialize, it does not mean the dreams were not supposed to be true. The dreams should have been true. But a person with free will could step in and mess everything up. That's a side point. Next time. Pirush, how did he present this case to the brothers? Why should we kill him directly? Let's put him in a pit and he'll die mimela. So meaning Reuven here is a little bit, the way he's presenting it to the brothers and what's happening in his own head. To the brothers he's presenting it, he's going to die. But why should we kill him directly? Let's do it in a grama. Put him in a pit that they'll die from hunger or from thirst or from the Nechashim HaKrovim. We didn't do it. But what he really planned was, he'll be saved. He's going to come the next day and take him out. That was the real plan. Nechashim HaKrovim are not going to kill one of the Shvatim. He's not going to wait that he should die from hunger. He's going to come within 24 hours. This is the very famous Orach HaKodesh. He says it black on white. This was the plan of Reuven. Yosef does not deserve to die. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't want him to die. But people with free will can still kill him, if that's what they want. So let me get it out of the hands of the free will people, his brothers, and put him with snakes and scorpions. And since he's a tzaddik, he's going to be okay. He's one of the Shvatim. Yes?
Weren't they done that he was hiding?
Yeah. You know what he's saying? If he's chayav misa, then the Nechashim HaKrovim will kill him. But he was convinced. He says he's going to come out of it. I guess deep down he thought he wasn't chayav misa. Okay, this is the Orach HaKodesh. His source is a Zohar HaKodesh. We're lately becoming Bali Kabbalah. The Zohar on page coffee. What do you mean coffee? Kuf pei hey kafe. Chelik Aleph. The gracious kafe. Rabbi says, I have the arrows downstairs for the Sulam's translation, and the arrows are not accurate. It was late at night. The arrow should be the next paragraph. Rabbi Yitzchak Omer, and the concluding arrow should also be the next paragraph. So the arrows are not so meduyak. Rabbi Yitzchak Omer, let's read it in the Hebrew edition, in the translation, I mean. אם היה בו בבור נחשים והקרובים, דהיינו כמו שדרשו חז"ל, מה אם אין בו, אבל נחשים והקרובים יש בו? למה כתוב בראובן למען להציל אותו מידם? וכי לא פחד ראובן לזה אשר הנחשים והקרובים יזיק אותו? ואיך אמר להשיבו אליו, if he wants to return him back to his father? because of למען להציל אותו, אלא, we're now by letter קוף למד א', חמר ראובן ומשיב, אלא ראובן ראה, שהנזק הוא ודאי, his brothers are for sure going to kill him, כשיהיו בידיהם של אחיו, כי ידע כמה הם שונאים אותו, ורצונם הוא להרוג אותו. He knows how much they hated him. Omar Reuven, now in the left column on the bottom, מוטב להפילו לתוך הבור שיש בו נחשים מהקרובים, ולא יהיה נמסר ביד סויניו שאינם מרחמים עליו. מכאן אמרו, יפיל אדם את עצמו לאש או לבור של נחשים הקרובים, ולא ימסור את עצמו ביד שונאיו. An enemy, a human being enemy, is the worst enemy in the world. The most dangerous enemy in the world. Next one. The Zohar. It's all the Zohar. Zohar. Let's go to the next letter. Begin דרך אומר, מפני שקם במקום נחשים הקרובים, אם הוא צדיק, הקדוש ברוך הוא עושה לו נס, ולפעמים בזכות אבותיו עומד לו אדם וינצל מהם. אבל כיוון שנמסר ביד שונאיו, מועטים הם היכולים לנצל. Very few can be saved in such kind of situation. Are there any extra ones, Rebach? No, I thought I brought more enough. Okay. No, I see the shah. Fine. This is a very challenging kind of a piece of learning, because a lot of times we say to ourselves, you go to some Melach Maval, that was the Gzeira, Hashem Yirachem. If someone was hit by a reckless driver, Hashem Yirachem, and died, it would be. It's a lot easier to go to the family and say that was the Gzeira. It could be not. If for someone with his free will killed him, it could be otherwise he wouldn't have gotten killed. That's what the Racham and the Kodesh saying, and the source is the Zohar. That what does that mean? People have free will, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not intervene with the free will of people. If they want to exercise their free will, they could, even if it means to kill someone who's totally innocent and does not deserve to die. Rabbi said, this is Dvarim you're doing. Whatever we did till now, the Dvarim you're doing, b'chol ha'olam kulei. The Orchaim HaKodesh, and they point out that the Mokar is the Zohar HaKodesh. Surprisingly, the Orchaim HaKodesh doesn't mention the Zohar HaKodesh, because usually he does, if it's there. Nachon Rav Steinhaus, we're alive and kicking? Good! Yes.
Isn't the Zohar slightly different though?
What?
The Zohar is saying that if the HaKadosh Baruch Hu can be misrachish nisa to avoid the death from the Nachashim Ba'akrovim, the Orchaim is saying if he doesn't deserve to die, they can't do anything anyway.
I don't know. Maybe that's what Orchaim HaKodesh meant. Again, let's see what Orchaim HaKodesh is saying.
If you don't deserve to die, you don't need a nace.
Yeah, but it is a next not to die from the
Not if you're not meant to die.
That's called the Nes. That's called the Nes. Oh, Peter, yeah.
So in Tefillah, you're allowed to run away in the middle of Shemona Esrei.
If you have a Nachash Kochal Club. Yeah, the Gemara Brachos. Rabbi say, we're going to skip meanwhile page 3. We're going to skip meanwhile page 3. Are you getting spoiled with all these pages stumbled in advance, brought over to you like this? I'm sorry. Yeah, the good. What do you want to say, Yosef?
Can you touch on the Yom
No. I'm not much going to לא נוגע עכשיו. לא
It
נוגע.
appears to be the
נראה. The point, actually, I want to make sure that I'm focusing on the Nekuda Ikers. What does it mean on Rosh Hashanah and the Son of Tekef? That's another thing.
because it seems to just
Okay, good. We'll come back to it. Let's give a look on page 4, and I'm going to share that the Al-Shich says it. Al-Shich, look between the arrows. It's quoting, it's a sefer quoting, a sefer on Orchaim. Give a look. Ken matzinu shekosev Al-Shich. I'm so sorry, Baruch, to make it walk like that. Okay.
The first couple of sheets are missing for some reason.
No, they're just they're in the back. Oh, man. Okay.
Page 4 now.
Yes. Page 1 and 2 are missing. Okay. Fine. Shkoyach. We're on page 4. Beseder over here, page 4. Ken matzinu ha'alshich. You know, there's very few sperm that you add to them the word kodesh. Or chaim HaKodesh. Alshich HaKodesh. Okay? What is this? Sorry. Whatever it is, it's going to wait. Okay. Ken matzinu shekosev alshich. Omar, Lovan said, Yesh le'el yati liyot ba'al b'chira. Ve'lokei avichem lo amar shiyim le'eni. HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't stop. HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't say, he'll stop me. HaKadosh Omar Yishomer, be careful. I'm going to get even with you, but I can't stop you. That's how the Alshich says in one place. And then another place, Kosev Alshich, V'chol esav b'rishoy la'misoy, ve'ein miyodem matzil ala dovar, ki ba'al b'chira hu. Kanoida, ki ein HaKadosh Baruch Hu monea b'chiras adam. כי על כן ראובן בחר בהשליך את יוסף בבור נחושת מהכובעים, מלנח אותו ביד אחיו כמפורש במקומוי. Okay, and then Rabbi say he goes on. We can skip a few lines. He quotes again the story with Reuven, right? That play Yeshua. Look, see a few lines, about 10 lines down. It says in brackets Rosh Hashanah Yud Ches Amud Beis. מבאר מדוע נקבעה תייניס למיתס גדליה בן אחיקום? We have a tainis, some גדליה. הרי מצינו עוד צדיקים תמסו, כגון האובויס, ומוישה ואהרון ושמואל ושאר נביאים, והשיב דשאר צדיקים שמסו באבנויסם, אין בו צורך כל כך. That was their time to die. למשל לפתילה שקבע בזמנו, the candle after a while runs out. מה שהגה בגדליה שנהרג על ידי אודם שהוא בבחירה, מת שלא בזמנו. He died prematurely. Okay, then you go, good Rabbi Yisrael. So the Ashik HaKadosh says it also. Let's go, Rabbi Yisrael, now on to page 5. Rav Hutner Zatzal is going to use this to explain, make a parallel. But meanwhile, we're going with the opinion, a person can die if someone decides to kill him, even though he does not deserve to die. And if he would have been somewhere else, he would have kept on living. Let's look at what Rav Hutner says on page 5, something very gishmak. Kedalkoi. I'm sure the Olam remembers that on Sunday was his yard side, and everybody lit a candle. I'm sure. Okay, good.
We were busy with another Yosai.
I'm sorry?
We were busy with another Yosai on Sunday. The Miyasad of our base of Medrash was also on Sunday.
Also on Sunday, Kaf Kislev.
Yeah, that's the root.
Wow.
This place actually got
A nair could be for a few.
Sure.
Good. Look what he says here in letter bet. And that's the way he spoke Hebrew also orally. It's like on the verge of poetry. I promise you that's how he spoke Hebrew on a Sichas Chulin over a table. בשעה שאנו מדברים על האדם בתור הבריאה היחידה המכוננת בכוח הבחירה, when we say that a person's the only one gifted to have free will, הרי ממילא נתפס בהכרתנו הציור, so automatically we understand, כי סגולת הבחירה היא ההבדלה המובהקת בין האדם ובין שאר הבריות. בחירה is what differentiates man from other creatures. לאמיתו של דבר, truly, גם בתוכו של האדם עצמו, even amongst the various layers of a person himself, סגולת הבחירה, the ability of free will, תוחמת היא תחומין, it makes borders, ומשמשת סימן הבדלה בין תחום לתחום. What do you mean? חידוש זה נלמד מדברי חכמים, שאמרו על הפסוק, בשש צרות יצילך ובשבע לא ייגע בך רע, it's a פסוק, אומר הקדוש ברוך הוא, look at this חז"ל, מכל הצרות אני מצילך, I could save you from all your tsars. אבל אם בא לשון הרע, if someone wants to speak about you לשון הרע, I can't save you. אתה hatmet atzmacha. You gotta hide yourself. If someone wants to speak about you a vicious lashon hara, I cannot stop that. Says the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Everything else I can stop. But if someone wants to speak lashon hara, if A wants to speak lashon hara about B, I cannot save B from that. B has to take care of himself to avoid lashon hara. What's the pshat in Chazal? הבירו היחידי לדברים הללו הוא כי כשם שמצינו כי ההצלה מן הסכנה האורבת לו לאדם מבעל חי היא יותר קרובה מאשר ההצלה מידה של סכנה האורבת לו מן אדם. He's quoting the Racham Kodesh here. Just like we find that to be saved from an animal is easier than to be saved from a person that has free will, the Racham Kodesh. ומשום כך הוא נחשב כהן ברשות עצמו. A person that has free will, so to speak, in his own domain. וכבכל זקוקה היא ההשגחה העליונה. הקדוש ברוך הוא needs a special נימוק, a special reason מיוחד להתערב לתוך ענייניה של רשות זו. כמו כן, גם כוחותיו של האדם עצמו נידונים מבערכין. A person's own koiches are all relative. וכוח הלשון, speech, לגבי שאר כוחותיו של אדם, compared to the other koiches of a person, נערך הוא בערכו של בעל הבחירה, לעומת מי שאינו בעל בחירה. והיינו שאמרו מבעל לשון, אתה הטמן את עצמך. Meaning, what is he saying? He's saying, Reuven could hit Shimon, Reuven could cause anguish to Shimon. That's not the real the ultimate free will of Reuven. You know what's his ultimate free will? Speech. When a person's using his speech, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu says that is the epitome of exercising a free will of a human being. Speech, I'll explain it in a minute. And I'm hands off when it comes to speech. If he wants to cause anguish to someone else not through speech, through other things, I can intervene on that one. But when Reuven wants to speak Lashon Hara about Shimon, that is the peak of his free will. And just like there's a gap between a man and an animal, then an animal doesn't have free will at all, and a man does, a person in his own inner world, speech is the epitome. Rabbi said, look, we all know that. In every country, freedom of speech. Did you ever hear the expression freedom of hand? Freedom of playing ball? Freedom of speech. You know why, guys? You know how come by speech the free will reaches its peak? Where does free will come from? Not philosophically, technically. How does it work? How come malachim don't have free will and animals don't have free will and we do? Malach is also holy. We come from two tracks. We come from a track of a goof and we have a track of a neshama. And I can choose where I want to be. Neshama dik or guftik. If you're one track, it is what it is, like I say. What can you do? That's the only thing. There's no free will if it's the only thing, if it's only one. A malach has no free will because it's only kodesh. A beima has no free will, it's only guf. And an adam has both, and he can go back and forth from one track to another. Right? The fact that we're a hybrid between two is the source of our free will. Where does the Torah mention that combination? Vayikach afo me'adama, vayipach ba'apav nishmas chaim, and then what happened? Vayadam lenefesh chaim. What happens? Ruach mal, you start to speak. So speech is an offspring of the shidduch, the first shidduch in the bria, before even Adam and Chava, was guf and neshama. And what was the offspring? Every shidduch has offsprings. What was the offspring? Dibur. Why is Dibur a telada of the hakava of guf and neshama? Pashut pshat is because Dibur is really both. You speak with your tongue, which is physical, but you're expressing your thoughts, which is spiritual. So they meet in your speech. So speech is where free will is manifested in its highest level. So Mimele, when it comes to speech, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'm not intervening.
Is that why the story of remember Doeg HaDomi says the Lashon Hara about the Anshe, the Kohanim, of Yosef and
Yeah.
Kohanim, and Shaul kills them all?
Yeah.
HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't like.
I don't know.
That's the only I can think of.
No,
It's a perfect example of what they're saying, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't like that. I'm sure it happened a few times at Tanakh. Once the guy said Lashon Hara and someone got killed afterwards.
That one's like quite well known.
I don't know.
Okay.
Zani lo yodea. It could be. It could be.
Isn't thought an expression of free will as well?
I'm sorry?
Isn't thought an
No, it's not. It's Dibur. Because we're the merge. Where they merge. Okay, Rabbi Yisrael. I'll go upon him. So when it comes to speech, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if Reuven wants to cause anguish to Shimon, I can intervene. If Reuven wants by physical, if he wants to cause him some kind of monetary business thing, I can intervene. He wants to speak Lashon Hara, I stay out of it.
And if he wants to kill, he also doesn't.
That's it does come out that if he wants to kill. You're right. So l'chora, from one point of view, Rav Hutner is taking this Orach HaKodesh to explain why speech, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when the prayer reaches its peak, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I'm not intervening. The Orach HaKodesh said also even earlier. Yeah. That Nakuda is going to be clarified. Okay, Rabbi Yisai. Kol zeh michad Yisai. Does everybody agree to this? So I want to show you, no. It's a groise machlekes. And let's see. Let's go to the next page, page 7. It's the chinuch. Why should you take revenge? Lo sikom v'lo sitor. If someone did you something bad, why not to retaliate? Look what the chinuch says. Mitzvah reish b'malef. Shelo linkom, kolomar shenimnanu milakachas nekoma miyisrael. Okay, Okay, good. Let's go to the next paragraph. Mishulsheh mitzvah, meaning the reason of the mitzvah. Sheyeda adam v'yitena libo. Ki kol asher yikru, whatever happens to them, mitov adra, hu siba shetavo alav bet Hashem yizbachu. It's HaKadosh Baruch Hu doing it. Umiyad adam miyad hashechiv lo yeh davar, bilti ratzon Hashem Baruch Hu. Forget about killing. Even the most minute pain. You think he did it? HaKadosh Baruch Hu said that. He's a stick. There's a chazal somewhere that how foolish the dog is. If a stick hits a dog, so the dog bites the stick. It's not the stick that's doing it. It's the one using the stick. You're getting angry at the stick? That's what the chinuch says. לא יהיה דבר בלתי רצון השם ברוך הוא, על כן כשיצרהו או יחיבהו אדם, ידע בנפשו כי עוונותיו גרמו, והשם יתברך גזר עליו בכך. ולא ישית מחשבותיו לנקום ממנו, כי הוא אינו סיבת רעתו. He's not the cause. כי העוון הוא המסבב. וכמו שאמר דוד עליו השלום, הניחו לו ויקלל, כי אמר לו השם, על שימי בגרה. תלה היה בחטאו, ולא בשימי בגרה. So says the chinuch, whatever happens to you, the address is not your friend. He did it? He's just a shaliach. He's a messenger. Isn't there expression to kill the messenger? Don't kill the messenger? What does that mean? It's not him. He's just a messenger. What do you want from the guy? Says the chinuch, that's a kamat sikoim. We're not speaking about killing over. So we're speaking that he didn't give you a nice good morning. Or he's a gabbai in a shul, he didn't give you shlishi. And you're upset with him. Says and you want to retaliate. Next time when you'll be a gabbai, you roll tonight, I'm not going to give him shlishi either. We're going to get even over here. Says the chinuch, the fact that it hurt you that you get shlishi? Well, you should know HaKadosh Baruch Hu did it. He was just a shaliach. Hi, the Chaim Kodesh says maybe no, maybe not. Maybe HaKadosh Baruch Hu did not do it, but a person did it with his free will. The chinuch doesn't go with it. And the chinuch says nothing good or bad can happen to a person if it's Haratzon Hashem. A person maybe he can be Shosheh mitzvah, sheyeda adam v'yita l'libo, ki kol asher yikru. Whatever happens to them, mitov adra, good and bad, hu siba shetavo alav met Hashem yizborach baruch hu. ומיד האדם, מיד איש אחיו, לא יהיה דבר בלתי רצון השם ברוך הוא. Everything happens only because that's what Hashem wants. So why are you taking your anger on your friend? He's a stick. That's what the chinuch says. Definitely not going hand in hand with, is this like the Chaim HaKadosh in the Zohar? Absolutely not. Mamash the opposite. Okay? Let's go on the boy side. I found the Mitzvah. Page 8. The boy said this is a mitzvah. But if you know how to do it, which I don't know well, those who know how to use the Oitzah Chachma well, you cannot imagine what kind of treasures you discover there. Here, Vivek, I found it. A sefer of Tzaddik of Yosef Zundel Misalat, written on him. He was a Talmud of who? Because he knew Reb Chaim Volozhiner personally. He did. Look what he says here. In the arrow. Be'ezat Shem Yisborach u'lechvod Yisborach Shmoi. Shamati mimorenu harav Rabbi Yitzchak Mikovna. I think that, who is that? That's from Yitzchak Elchanan. Okay. So maybe he's called Omar Harav Hagoyen Rosh Kol Bnei Hagoyla Morenu Harav Reb Chaim Volozhin. So he's quoting the Kovna Rav who quoted Reb Chaim Volozhin. So maybe he heard it from the Kovna Rav. Okay. Shamati me'achasid zal. That's the Goyen. HaChasid zal is the Goyen. This is very close to the mouth of the Goyen. The Kovna Rav is quoting Reb Chaim Volozhiner, who heard it from the Goyen. What? And says Reb Chaim Volozhiner, V'gam ani amarti ken afilu min erotai, and I said on my own since I'm a youngster, sheze ta'ut ma shemurgal b'fi ha'olam. It's a mistake, which what people think. V'gam barambam yitaken, I don't know which Rambam he's quoting, shebal b'chira yichol la'asot la'adam bilti gzeras habayra. That a bal b'chira could inflict pain without a gzera of Hashem. No. said the Goyen. רק שבכל דבר נגזר על האדם, there is a difference, but I'll show you what the difference is. שבכל דבר נגזר על האדם באיזה אבן ינגף. If it's like a stone or something, after Baruch makes a gzera, he's going to fall on this stone, not on that stone. אבל בבעל בחירה לא נגזר איזה בעל בחירה יעשה לו לטוב ולמיטב. Meaning, when it comes to people with free will, HaKadosh Baruch Hu say he'll do it. Someone else can do it. אבל אם לא נגזר לו מן השמיים, but if it wasn't HaKadosh Baruch Hu's decree to start with, אין בעל בחירה יכול לעשות לו מאומה. מה מי הרבי say? And the guy knew the Zohar backwards and forwards. So we're going to have to work this out. But Al Kopani Rabbi said this is a testimony of a Vayeshev Zundel who heard it from the Kovner Rav, who heard it from Chaim Volozhiner, who heard it from the Grand himself. I guess it was known there were Chaim HaKadosh in those days. He says, but the Olam says that someone can exercise his free will, even if there's no Gzera from Hashem, it's a tos. If Hashem did not make the decree, you can't, about Bchira, or anyone cannot do anything. So we have the Chinuch.
Rambam also thinks.
He's quoting the Rambam, I don't know which one it is. And you look at I tried to look around, no matzati. Okay. Rabbi say, let's go to the next page. We are now on page 9. Here comes Rabbi Elchanan Wasserman. He's going to add even noch a knetch. Rabbi said, what do you, at this stage, what do you identify more with which approach? The first or the second? Let's call the Orchaim or the Chinuch? The Chinuch. May I ask the Olam a question? Meaning, Reuven could kill Shimon only if there was a Gzera of Hashem that Shimon should die? Yeah. Could Reuven kill himself only if there was a Gzera? If you answer in 3 seconds, it's not an intelligent answer. Could he kill himself? Could someone commit suicide if there was no Gzera?
Well, he is about Bechira.
Yeah, but not to kill himself. Is there any difference in Havana if he kills himself or kills someone else?
Maybe that's why it's such a bad thing.
I'm sorry?
Maybe that's why it's such a bad thing because you're going against.
So, you know what? Let's see what the B'chanan says. Rabbi Chanan Wasserman. Okay? Look what he says. He quotes the Taisus and Ksubas. We're not going to go into it now. And he says, Ululei divrem. You know where the error is. Hayav shalomar. De'ein shum chiluk ben atzmoi la'acher. De'komo she'en b'yicholto laharog adam acher. Just like a person, Reuven, cannot kill Shimon, and him can exar ploni she'areg, only if there was a predestinate decree. Preordained, thank you, Baruch. Right? De'komo she'en b'yicholto laharog adam acher, and him can exar ploni she'areg, hachinami en biyado lamit et atzmo. Who says he can kill himself? Im lo nigzar alav she'areg. Rabbi Chanan takes it a step further. Why should there be a chilek? And Rabbi said, really think about it, Nachon? Why should there be a chilek? You want to say like the chinuch and like the Goyen that Reuven can't kill Shimon only if there was a Gzera on Shimon? So why can Reuven kill himself? So here we say, no, himself's different. Why? Because he's boss. No, he's not.
So you got the Gzera on him.
Only if there was a Gzera. But if there's no Gzera, he can't do it. Only if there was a Gzera, they'll die at Rosh Hashanah. But if there's no Gzera, he'll jump from the... Something's going to happen. It won't happen. HaKadosh won't stop it. He'll try to jump. It won't work. He'll put his hand in electricity. There was electric power, a short power then. It won't happen.
What's wrong with saying that?
I don't know. I'm just saying, when people hear it, they say it's a Gamal Chiddush. Rabbi Chanan says it's a double Pashat. He's taking the step further. Not only Reuven can't kill Shimon, if there's no Gzera in Shimon, he can't kill himself. And just people take it as a big Chiddush. Look at the faces here of those who are awake. Look.
I'm with you.
I'm sorry? Oh, so Rabbi Chanan goes to speak about that. That's the Ramban. He's going to quote the Ramban on that. But I'm not going into it now because we don't have the time. Why is it Chai Misa? Because Baruch wanted it anyway. The Ramban speaks about it like a babe. I'm sorry. Why were the Egyptians punished? They did Gzera Hashem. No, the Ramban talks about it. What? Oh. Rabbi say, I want to tell you that here we have a coalition not only of the Goyen. So meanwhile we have the Orcham HaKodesh, and before him the Zohar HaKodesh, and the Al Shech HaKodesh. So all the Gedoshim, they're all three called Kodesh, right? Orcham Kodesh, Al Shich Kodesh, and Zohar Kodesh. They say someone with the free will could kill somebody if there's no Gzera. The Chinuch, the Goen, Rebbe Chonan, and I'm going to show you now the Baal Tanya. Say no. Only if there's Gzera. And what's the word again in English, Rebbe? Preordained. The Yadua, let's just see the arrows. We're not gonna do the whole thing, just a few lines. It's a sefer quoting the Baal Tanya. The Yadua Mashiper Shatanya Ma'amar Chazal Kol HaKo'es Kilu Oived Avodah Zarah V'zeh L'Shano B'Igros HaKodesh מה שאמרו רז"ל כל הכועס כאילו עבד עבודה זרה הטעם מובן ליודע בינה לפי שבעת כעסו נסתלקה ממנו האמונה. He doesn't have אמונה if he's angry. כאילו היה מאמין שמת השם הייתה הזאת לא היה כועס בכלל. ואף שבן אדם שהוא בעל בחירה מקללו, מכר או מזיק ממונו, even though the one who's facing him is someone with free will, הוא מתחייב בדיני האדם מפני שעובר בחירתו, אף על פי כן על הניזק כבר נגזר מן השמיים והרבה שולחים למקום. So Baal Tanya says again, he's only a shliach, and there was a gzer before. Okay, let's go on. Here, let's go to sheet 11. Again, there's a likud here. It's Shmona Prakim Rambam. Maybe that's the Rambam he was quoting. It could be, but I'm looking now on the bottom. The first paragraph is quoting the Orchaim Kodesh. He quotes it. The second one is the Zohar Kodesh. Look at the third one. The third paragraph. מקובל בשם הגויין רבי ישראל מסלנט זצר לפרש על פי יסוד זה את הפסוק ויאמר דוד אל גד צר לי מאוד ניפלה נא ביד השם כי רבים רחמיו וביד אדם על אפולה. דוד המלך אמר אני מעדיף לסבול ייסורים אולם ביד השם כי רבים רחמיו ואני מבקש שביד אדם על אפולה היות והוא בעל בחירה בידו להרוג גם שלא נגזר עליי כך. Rabbi Yisrael Salater is going with all the three Gedoshim that a person with a free will could do havoc. Is that the right word? What? Reek? You guys just say havoc. Reek.
It's a noun, it's not a verb.
Shkach. So you could wreak havoc. Shkoach. Or I want to sound cool and then I say the word in the wrong place, which is the most anti-cool shaykh. Better not to try to do it even. Anyway, Rabbi Yisrael says all those Gedoshim are right, and that's the bakosha. B'yad Adam al Pola. Adam is the worst beast. He could kill even if the guy doesn't deserve it. That's how he explains the pasuk. Good. Hagoan Rabbi Yucham Leibovitz mesaber ma'aseh b'echad shitnagesh b'nefesh ha'admor hasaba mikelem. Rabbi Simcha Zissel. What's the family name? Rabbi Simcha Zissel. Ziv. Very good. Someone wanted to do something bad. From a human being you got to be afraid of. כיוון שהוא בעל בחירה. היינו שהוא בבחינת כמו ברשות עצמו. כאילו אינו ברשותו של הקדוש ברוך הוא. שזהו יהיה הבחירה וזה יהיה שכר העונש. So again, we have two literations here that are going with the Gedoshim. Rabbi Yisrael Salanter and the Alter from Kelm. Here in this paragraph they quote the Goyen that we saw before from Yosef Zundel. That says no. Meidach Yisa, look, ושמעתי בשם הגויים ובחזקאל לוינשטיין שיסוד האורחיים הקודש, last paragraph, נמצא גם רבנו חנניה, חגיגה, שכתב ופתאום יש נספה בלא משפט, כגון אדם שהורג חברוי. So what I said, we see there's very illustrious opinions on both sides. Rabbeinu Hananel, the Rosh says in them, called Dvar of Divrei Kabbalah, says also like the Orcham HaKodesh. Okay, Rabbi say. Page 12, the Netziv. We're starting a little bit to make a pshara here. On page 12. It's getting interesting, huh? זה מתחיל להיות מעניין, נכון? You know what Rabbi say, he wrote the Emek Dover and then the Herchev Dover? That's annotations that he added later on in his life. And then in the new prints, they already put it together. Here, where the arrow is. On this expression, ולהסביר יותר יש להקדים, הדיסה בזוהר הקודש, חלק א', קפה. You see it's kafe? And he quotes it. And then he says, ויש לי ראיה מפורשת לזה, says the Netziv. After he quotes like 7-8 lines down. מדכתיב בדניאל, בשעה שישלחו את הרבש בגובה ראיות, וחת במלכה בזיקתא, דלא תשנה צבו בדניאל. What does that mean? 93, רש"י, שלא ישתנה רצון כלומר, שלא יעשו לו הזק, שלא כרצוני. I'm not afraid of the line. פירוש היה בטוח שלא ייגעו בו עריות שאינם בעלי בחירה. אבל ירד דלא תשנה רצון בדניאל. Meaning, again, the idea, people you're afraid of, and not animals. But here he says, here it starts the turning point, Rabbi Yisai. ואומנם חלילה נאמר שאין ביד ההשגחה העליונה לשמור גם בבחירת האדם. חס ושלום to say that Akadosh Baruch Hu cannot save a victim from someone with free will. אלא כך יש לנו לומר. דלזה באין את זכוס יסר. It's more dangerous, but if you have gewaltige zchusim, you'll be saved also from someone with a free will. והיינו שיהיה טוב גם בין אדם לחברו ויהיה צדיק וטוב לו, ובשביל שהוא צדיק גמור, כמו שכתבתי לאל, בהערך דובר. I'm sorry? So that's where it was planned. Yeah, exactly. על פי זה הטעם נשמע יעקב בבחיר ראש של לבן, והנה יעקב, בקיצור, Rabbi Yisai, it's starting a little bit of pshara here. Kodesh Baruch Hu could always intervene and save someone, but you need more schusim to be saved from a human being enemy than from a lion enemy. Because he has free will. But if you have, so meaning, let's give it numbers. 3 kilos schusim are enough to be saved from a lion. To be saved from a human being, you need 8 kilo schusim. But if you have it, Akadosh Baruch Hu will save you also. But to say Chas V'Shalom Akadosh Baruch Hu is helpless and he won't intervene at all, no. That's what he says. Now, let's go to page 13.
Could Philip bring back Schusim?
Not like that. I'm not going out to Tefillah. I can't stick to the topic. It's a whole other sugya of Yosef. Rabbi said, give a look on page 13. We're not going to read, he quotes his Chaim HaKodesh, and he quotes that, but we're going to quote the beginning of he quotes the Zohar Kodesh, okay, and then Reb Chaim Kanevsky, in the beginning of the left column. V'chen yishiv Moran Akrach Kanevsky Shlita, obviously it was written when he was alive, al ha'shalayim divrei Or Chaim hem kipshutam, she detect the Or Chaim face value, v'zeh l'shono, lo yitachen sheyareg adam im lo nigzar alav min hashamayim. Impossible. אלא שכנגד בעל בחירה צריך יותר זכויות להינצל. ויש פעמים שנגזר על האדם מיסה, ויש לו זכות שמעכבת. meaning הזכות would stop it. ובבעל בחירה צריך זכויות יותר. עד כאן לשונו. Rabbi said, what should the Olam ask now? In our framework, what should we ask? What does the Maral say? Michael, no? What does the Maral say? Does he voice his opinion on this? Yes, he does. I'll show you. In fact, in a few places. But let's go back, if you don't mind, to page 3. I thought the Olam was going to jump out of their chairs. What's with the Maral? Reb Hutner, it's good. Seder. He's not a Maral. My Maral. I told you, I got a phone call about 10 days ago. My son called me up. Abba, it was 6:30 in the morning. I thought, everything is okay. Something a little bit urgent here. There's a bris of a baby now. And the Avi Abba wants to give the name of the Maral to the baby. What was the Maral's name? Yehuda or Yehuda Levoy? What was it? If it's both, they'll give both. If it's one, they'll give one. Because, so I said, to me it's Putch, his name was Yehuda only. And Levoy or Leib or whatever was added in a German way to say Leib. And I said, I remember on his kever, and I double-checked afterwards, on his kever, it says only Yehuda B'Mitzal. Isn't that a pretty big raya? On the kever, wouldn't they write on the tombstone the full name? Anyway, but I said, if he's really has a suffix, you should call him Goylem. V'zeo. Call him Goylem. Goylem ze batuach. Ze batuach. Yehuda Levi, Goylem achitov. Now, everybody said, look at what the Maral says in verse Hashem Perek Vav. We're going back to page 3. The Medrash is speaking about that right after the Mechemes HaMalachim that Avraham Avinu won. It says, "V'yom Hashem Avram al tivra Avram, Anochi magen lach schach al b'moed." What was Avraham Avinu afraid of? So the Medrash brought a few opinions. So the Maral is going, we'll start from there. But Medrash is the Bali Hashem Lashon Achar Advarim. the lama tala nevuah zot al tira b'melchemes hamalachim. Like, how are they connected? Okay. ואמר רבי לוי בפרש ראשון, כי אברהם היה ירא מפני המלחמה הגדולה שעשה. Avraham Avinu was very afraid of the war that he just now won. What was he afraid of? V'shema neged ratzon HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Maybe, perhaps it was against Ratzon Hashem. What? Shayu bam tzadikim or anashim asher ruim shelo liot ne'aragim. Maybe I killed people who did not deserve to die. And he says, neged ratzon HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Maybe I killed tzaddikim and it was against the will of Hashem. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to tell them, don't worry. They were all Rishayim. That's what the Medrash says. But what was the fear that Avraham Avinu had that HaKadosh Baruch Hu had to come and soothe them and say, don't be afraid? He was afraid maybe I killed people against the will of Hashem. He says, Meferish, Shema neged ratzon HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Give a look at Boysa in footnote 28. Chazina midrav. We could glean from his words. Glean. Did I say it right this time? Good. Thank you. Shkach. שאף שאותם אנשים שנהרגו היו ראויים שלא להיות נהרגים והרגתם תהיה נגד רצון הקדוש ברוך הוא. עם כל זה אברהם היה יכול להרוג גם במלחמתו כנגדם. וחידוש גדול יש בכך שאף אם ארי באדם הזכאי לחיים ואין רצון השם שימות, מכל מקום עדיין ייתכן שימות במלחמה. וכן כוסה בהקדומה לאורך חודש שבת הומה. We'll skip a few lines. וזה תואם לדברי האור החיים, about 6 lines down, הידועים שביר, and here's the quotation of the Or Chaim. And then the Mockers, the Zohar Kodesh, Kafeh, again a few more lines. Right? Till the bottom. V'chen, 2 lines to the end. V'chen kosel benu Chananan, upnei Yehoshua, omnam lav das kulal mehi, ein choyves halvaves, shal bitochen, I couldn't get it 100% clarity. U'besefer HaChinuch, and others. But the Ral's opinion is, and he says it also elsewhere. Also, he says it in a few places. I have another source that he says it. Also in the Gurari, that it's possible to kill someone against the will of Hashem. Which means there wasn't Xera, obviously. If there was Xera, that's called against the will of Hashem. So the Maharal is not saying what Chaim Kanevsky is saying. Again, so let's add another Kodesh to this list. Even though he's not called the Maharal Kodesh. But they all say whatever he said was Ruach HaKodesh. Rabbi say apparently, as you see, it's a big mevucha. And it's not 100% clear. But the Maharal, and I found the Maharal in another place, in Chinush HaGodes Mobatzir Daf Ein Aleph, and a few other places, he says it. He says that a person could kill another person, and it's someone that deserves to lie. Asher רואים שלא להיות נהרגים נגד רצון הקדוש ברוך הוא. I'm sorry? They do not deserve to die. Here, by the way, no. Here's non-Jews with Avimelech. Kavachomer. Isn't it Kavachomer? Oh, you want to say maybe Jews have more shmira? Could be. I don't know idea. But I have the Maharal that says it elsewhere, also by Yidden. I didn't quote it here. But I hear you're saying a svara.
It's very hard to read Reb Chaim into the Or Chaim. The Or Chaim doesn't say what Reb Chaim says.
Yeah. No, the only thing is, so look at that last sheet. He proves it. The Zohar Kodesh, he wants to say, said it. Again, Rabbi said, page 13. On page 13, in the right column, he quotes the Zohar Kodesh, and about like 7-8 lines till he says Ad Kan Lashano. So what does it say? The Zohar Kodesh said, right? If he's a tzaddik, Kodesh Baruch Hu will do a miracle against the Choshev HaKrovim. And he puts quotation marks. There's less chances. That's what Zohar Kodesh said. What does that mean? There are very few that could be saved. It's much still they could be saved. Harei Lahedya says this Mechaber, that ידי זכויות גם ידי אדם אפשר לנצל. רק כיוון שהסכנה גדולה, צריך יותר זכויות להינצל. וכמו שנסבר בספר המאיר לעולם, דרוש י' וזה לשונו, לעניין שינצל אדם מחי רוע, אין הקדוש ברוך הוא צריך לעשות נס. This is what Michal said before. It's not even a ness. אבל לנצל מאדם רע צריך הקדוש ברוך הוא לעשות נס דווקא, ולפעמים אין ביד האדם זכות שיהיה ראוי לעשות נס. ומשום זה יותר קל לנצל מחי רע מלנצל מאדם רע, עד כאן לשון of the Meir Lo'ilam. He was a big posek. So Rabbi say, just to conclude, I think the Maharal is clear cut though. He says Meferish against Ratzon Hashem, it can still happen. Otherwise, what is Avram even afraid of? Maybe I killed people that don't deserve to die. They wouldn't have died if they didn't deserve to die. But when you think about it a little bit more logically, let's take the Yom Kippur War. I lived in an Eretz Yisrael, I was a teenager. About 2,700 soldiers were killed. And each one is a Olam Maleh. Do you really think that if they would have been scattered all over the world, they all would have dropped dead at the same time also? Average age was 22. So all these 22-year-olds would have died anyway if they wouldn't have been there in the war? Does that really make sense? If it would have been in Australia, would have been in India, would have been in Brazil, wherever, they all would have died, dropped dead anyway. I understand, but the point is, and if they would, he would have died anyway. If not, there's someone else. I'm just saying it's kind of hard to understand that that's what would have happened. Again, I didn't mean. But is it really conceivable to say that 2,400 young men at the age of 22 would have dropped dead stam if it would have been a war? Meaning, could I claim if they wouldn't have been there, they would have lived?
It's not possible they wouldn't have been there. That's why they died.
Then people have free will. But what about their free will? 1 second. They also have free will.
If Ritzayin Hashem is absolutely above everything, then we don't have a hero. We can't do it on very because that can't be Ritzayin Hashem.
But according to Recham HaKadosh, can a Reuven kill Shimon even though he doesn't deserve the Pashup Shan Recham HaKadosh? That means Bechira overcomes? Yeah, Hashem wants him to live.
Yes.
And Bechira will overcome according to Recham HaKadosh. So why can't the Ritzayin himself decide I'm going to go move somewhere else? Who's going to stop him?
Yeah, but the Rob is asking in Salat Sad that
No, the Recham HaKadosh. I mean, without the Recham. You're saying, yeah. I mean, according to the Recham HaKadosh, I understand it works. But according to the other side, would it be that they would? So you can't overcome Ratzon Hashem with your free will. So you can't. So this kasha is would never happen. It would never happen. Okay, so I'm wrong. So what? So what if I'm wrong? It happens.
How can we govern
Oh, here comes davening.
for the soldiers? If anyway they're going to die, if it's on that side.
You know what? I couldn't. You couldn't have asked this question before tonight. People die only because of Xera. What are you davening for? If there was Xera, that wouldn't help. So this has nothing to do with the Recham HaKadosh. You could have asked it 2 years ago. So I guess davening elevates it to Madrega, maybe whatever. Now, Rabbi said, okay, Chaver, we finished. You could keep it with you. If you want to give it back, give it back. But if you want to keep it with you, keep it with you. But Simcha Gdolah, I'll take 2, not more. So the first 2, I want to get rid of it, b'vakasha. Otherwise, now what about, you asked about Rosh Hashanah?
It's ordained, preordained.
We're speaking about those who are preordained.
So therefore, it's Ratzon Hashem. At some point between year 1 and year 2, they can
Come on, is that really a kasha? Of course, Ratzon Hashem plays a role. We're not going to go to the other extreme.
But I'm saying it's very clear cut. I mean, if you're going to say that at some point during the year, it's going to happen. Right? I'm going wrong.
I don't hear the kasha at all. You're speaking to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But boy said, what's it? You're davening Ma'ariv, Chaver? Just one second. Just one second. Chaver, do we have a minyan? I mean, I personally daven already, but I'm willing to stay. How many do we have? 3? 4? I don't want to be Matriach Baruch. You see, it's not so easy for him to walk. Baruch, it's not so easy. Baruch, it's not so easy to walk. It's not so easy to open. How you? The chassan was good. Icha Avraham Avinu Icha.